Okay, we're now live. Hi, this is Elliot Fishman. You may not recognize me. I have a shirt with a collar and a tie on. I have to give a talk this morning on the topics in internal medicine course, the Dr. Tumblety course, speaking about AI, but they want you to wear a tie and look like you're a doctor or something. So I found a nice shirt, which I hadn't worn in a while, and a tie, and I remembered how to make the tie, and life is good. So from here I go there. There's a professor's lunch, and then I give a talk. So hope everyone's doing okay. It's May 2nd. Wow, time flies. You kind of wonder, why did I pick this title, RSNA 2024, which is the RSNA that'll be this November, December in Chicago, is because yesterday at noontime or 1 o'clock East Coast time and 12 o'clock Central time was the deadline for submitting abstracts for exhibits, scientific papers, you name it. So I thought it's maybe a good time to think about RSNA 2024, because I really hadn't tried to think of anything else. I couldn't really come up with a great idea. But RSNA is interesting because, what did people submit papers? Thousands and thousands of submissions, 1,500 characters, not a lot of words, not a lot of characters, 5 slides for exhibits, 1 slide for presentation. What did people submit on? Well, I'll predict everything, maybe not everything, but almost everything related to AI one way or the other. People wrote articles, how they used AI for mammography, how they used AI for PE, how they used AI for detection of lung nodules or interstitial lung disease or fractures. People will have written their experience, what worked and what didn't work. People will speak about brain bleeds. People will speak about triage, saving money, saving costs, quality of care, all the things that AI promises, and a lot of them are getting there. I think that's what people are going to speak about. I think it's easy as anything to write a paper about that because no one has that much experience. Everyone is interested in the topic. A lot of people have minimal experience, and I think most of the papers will have minimal experience. Probably most of the things people will write about were success stories, it's hard to write about unsuccessful stories like, oh, we used AI and it sucked. We missed all the PEs or something like that. Nothing's perfect, but I don't think people tend to write articles about why things don't work. People, if things work well, but they still make errors, will write articles about pitfalls. We've done that ourselves. What's the pitfall in diagnosing appendicitis or pancreatic cancer? Excellent article last year by Satomi Kawamoto, RSNA 2023, about early detection of pancreatic cancer and how you miss certain findings. And her article focused on how you find those findings that you typically miss. And so from error comes new knowledge. But I think you're going to see a lot of that. I'm sure the vendors, the same thing. Siemens, GE, everybody and their brother will have a new scanner or an update of their scanner, more functionality. A lot of work is being done on how to minimize the users of scanners. In other words, everybody is short technologists. People could do more if they had more. So a lot of the work being done by companies is not just developing a new scanner, but a new scanner where the expertise of the user will be less because the scanner will make most of the decisions on how to scan, how to center, how to do radiation dose, how to do everything. And that, of course, is where AI is also going to come in big. So I think there's no one who's going to introduce a product, whether it's for X-rays or fluoro, CT, MR, nukes, you name it, that doesn't have AI built in. Because the truth is, AI is being used everywhere all the time. Whether it says AI or not, I think we're getting to the point now where it's AI built in. It's kind of like Intel. There's signs Intel in the box. But then you stop that because Intel was everywhere. Now, of course, they haven't done well. They're going to have to put those stickers on the box because no one is buying Intel chips. But I think that's really where we are. I think that's what RSNA is going to be about. I think there'll be other things, there'll be some stuff on 3D imaging, cinematic rendering, but it does seem to me that everyone is very focused on AI and on little else. I think the other challenge this year, people can write articles about how busy they are. and why they didn't write an article for RSNA. I wonder if you look at submissions USA only, uh, will the numbers be flat, up or down? I think every one of us will bet the numbers are down because everyone seems to be working harder and harder, that the time for research, teaching, and the like is decreasing while the amount of time for doing reading is increasing. So I think that's going to be maybe a topic of discussion at RSNA, but I think that people may write about that. I think some of the quality stuff, a lot is written about, just generational stuff. People will probably at the meeting talking about working remote. I mean, working remote is so popular now. People will probably speak about the good and the bad about working remote, though it does seem people like it. It's not perfect, but nothing is perfect, but people do like working remote. Even many of our own people, though they would probably not want to work remote 100% of the time, like remote 40 to 50% of the time. So I think you're going to see at RSNA a lot of those topics. You're going to see some new scanners. We always see new scanners. But things with efficiency are going to be more and more important. You're going to see lots of stuff about ChatGPT. So everything that relates to medical records, to large language models, all of those things are going to be front and center. People are going to want to know about that. People will be using that. So I think that'll be very important. That'll be another topic of real importance. People like Shiv Rao from Abridge will be, I'm sure, talking about those things because they are being not so much talked about anymore, but being implemented in practice, and very successfully implemented into practice. I think probably also what you'll see at RSNA this year, probably in the hallways as much as in the meeting rooms, is people talking about their AI implementation, what works, what doesn't work, what they're doing, what they're not doing, the costs involved, P&L, recruiting in this era of radiologist shortage, short residents, short fellows, short faculty, short everything, and how people are managing to survive with a very large remote-based set of radiologists who can do an excellent job reading films. There's no doubt about that, but there's no one with butt in the seat. Someone needs to physically be there for contrast and everything else. So I think that's something everybody is kind of balancing. How do you do that? I think the workloads on certain divisions, body imaging, neuroradiology are the areas, nuclear medicine are the areas that are the biggest challenges. I think you'll see a lot of discussion around those topics. I don't think anyone has great ideas, because at the end of the day, you only can read so fast, and you only can make your dictaphone go so fast, and your chair spin so fast, and your packs open even faster. But I think you will see a lot of companies showing some of these things and how they promise, companies like Nuance, which is Microsoft, showing you some of the things they're promising and some of the things they're doing in practice. So let's see, John Bianchino's home today. Hey, John. And Hassan from Norway, hello. And Billy from RSNA 2023, hi. And Liliana also calling from New York on the east side, I would assume. It'll be interesting, RSNA. It'll be also interesting how crowded RSNA is or not crowded. I think a lot of people aren't quite going to RSNA like they used to. RSNA attendance was up last year compared to the year before, but nowhere near pre-COVID levels. And the truth is, it was probably going down before COVID. I think as people have less money for travel, as people are busier and busier, as people do less presenting, RSNA is going to have a challenge. I think all meetings have a challenge, RSNA especially, where cutting edge stuff was always being done. Now people are just trying to get by. That cutting edge stuff may be important and cool, but if it's not reimbursed, if it's not something that makes me more efficient, I don't want anything that takes more time. Cinematic rendering takes a beating because it's great, clinicians want it, but it's not reimbursed well, if at all. And who's going to do it? People don't want to do things where they're not reimbursed satisfactorily. So that becomes a big issue. And that'll be an issue that people will speak about and continue to speak about, though in all likelihood there's nothing they could do about it but complain. But it should be an interesting meeting. Though, as I said, I don't see people's excitement, even pre-RSNA for submissions. It used to be a lot of noise, a lot of hoopla. We, from our lab, do 30 presentations. We have some, but nowhere near that number. And no one seemed to be all that excited about it anyway. I think maybe it was better at RSNA when you had the posters and you stood around your poster and you met people. Now it's a poster, but it's computer generated, 35 slides, you send it in and you don't really see it again. So things like that could be challenging as well. But nevertheless, RSNA is coming. May to June, July, August, September, October, November, about 6.5 or so months away. So get ready. I hope everyone submitted their abstracts. If not, I think there are some late abstract deadlines you could do if you have some really hot topics. So come up with a hot topic and get your 5 minutes of fame. Anyway, with that, I'll thank everybody for their attention and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.